Volume 7, The Wisdom Library of Mike Murdock. It's book 273. It's called The Law of Recognition. Is one of the books. The Law of Recognition. I want to tell you without hesitation that next to the Bible is the greatest book ever written. And every time I start reading this book, I stop and I begin to praise and glorify God. Only God could have given me this book. Part of my inspiration was a book called Acres of Diamonds by Russell Conwell, I think was his name, Baptist preacher. If you haven't read the book, The Acres of Diamonds, Acres, Acres of Diamonds, he tells about a young couple who lived in a little farmhouse. They heard about the gold rush, so they rushed all over America. They ended up overseas in another country in search of gold. It's supposed to be a true story. Couldn't find it. They both decided to come back to America. And when they came back, they said, let's go look at our little farmhouse that we sold. It was surrounded by soldiers of the U.S. Army because it wasn't a mere farmhouse anymore. Since they had left it in search for gold, the Army surrounded it because it was now known as Sutter's Mill, the second largest gold mine in the entire continent of North America. It was under their little farmhouse. Acres of Diamonds, please. I've listened to it at night, laying in my bed. The essence is this. There's something golden and glorious where you are. But you must find it. You must discover it. They lost out because they did not recognize what was under their house. They were dropping fish. I had 7 ponds at my home. They laid the fish out by the pond, and the fish were laying there gasping. And I went over there and I looked down at the fish. My first thoughts was, boy, fish are really stupid, aren't they? They can't even walk. They can't even fly. They can't even talk. They're just laying there looking ignorant. And all the fish lay there before we put them in the water. And I stared at the fish and stared. They looked stupid, idiotic, like nothing. And I dropped them in the water. They wiggled. And suddenly, in a most miraculous display of genius, the fish began to swim throughout all my ponds. And the Lord spoke to me this sentence. When you are where you belong, nobody can compete with you. When you are where you belong, nobody can compete with you. Elephants don't fly. Elephants don't fly. Should we throw them away? That's not their difference. And here's some of the titles of this book. If you don't like the book, I'll give you money back. Recognition of the voice of the Holy Spirit. 10 rewards for knowing the voice of the Spirit. Recognition of your assignment. Recognition of an uncommon mentor. recognition of an uncommon protege, recognition of the mate assigned to walk beside you. The right mate won't create conflict, but inspiration. The right mate wants to protect you. The right mate will never lie to you. Recognition of a God-inspired idea. I had an idea that Mick Jagger, the famous rock and roll guy, put all over the world in his movies. I had one idea. I don't know where the little card went there. I had one idea. It made me a fortune for a lifetime. Recognizing the voice of the Spirit will bring great joy to you. On a Sunday night in Columbus, Ohio, God whispered to me to sow every penny I had in my pocket to a preacher named Rod Parsley and his wife, Joni. God told me to help buy my house. My money was $8,500. It's all I had. 14 days later at 7:15 in the Hyatt Regency Hotel, God gave me an idea. I grabbed a pen during my prayer. It was 7:15. I got up at 5:30 for prayer. Guess who loved my idea? Guess who loved my idea? Walmart, Kmart, Hallmark. My first check was over $100,000. I built a gymnasium where the Boston Celtics came and played basketball in my home. I laid hands on Silas Malafia, and he brought me an $8,500 check. And he said, would you anoint me? Within weeks, he had a brand new Gulf Airstream, not a Gulf Airstream, a Gulfstream jet, hundreds of miles an hour. He flew me all over Brazil, flew me back to my home here in Dallas from an $8,500 seed. Can you recognize a whisper of the Lord? Can you recognize a whisper of the Lord? This book, 273, it will not be ever available in hardback again. I'm going to downloads. Those who help me feed children, stay on the radio in Israel with a $31 seed. Call 817-759-BOOK. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I poured my life into this book. It's my way of rewarding you for helping me stay on the radio, feed children that are hungry. I don't know how many homeless we've helped. I have no idea. But thank you for helping me. Go to my website, MikeMurdochBooks.com, WisdomCenterChurch.com. I love you, family. Thank you. Thank you so much for sending this little message to others that you know.